Hey everyone, welcome to the Super Review Show's live stream of video game discussions. I am joined by two fine gamers themselves, one of which you've already seen before on the Super Review Show. Mr. Andrew Schultz is down below me here. He is joining us once again. So good to have him back. And joining us for the first time ever, you may have seen him back a while ago, like a long time ago, but this is my good man, Jake. He is here to talk video games with us as well. And tonight we're gonna have a great show. I think we're gonna get right to it, guys. We're gonna talk about Halo Infinite, if not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let me share my screen and tell you guys what's the hot stuff with Halo Infinite. What do we got going on tonight?
Well, so far, obviously, Halo Infinite has the heavy amount of the art style change that was hugely appraised for going back to the older style between how Halo 3 and Halo Reach was a little bit more relaxed, but very modern. Because before with Halo 4, when they switched over, it was very, a little out there, weird, very sharp edges that didn't. I mean, to me, it made a lot of sense at the time because the new generation consoles were in the works at the time, so it made more sense to. They advertised everything was being a little bit more sharper looking or any angular. Um, the first graphics, the first like actual looking from the first trailer was already bringing me back to nostalgia from the first trailers from Halo 3. And it already I was like, wow, this is already, I'm pretty much near almost on board already without a doubt. The art design, everything so far, even just from the first, the cinematic trailer, having those, I didn't even think it was an actual Halo game until they showed Chief's helmet. Because you had to really watch at the very end. You had no idea it was a Halo game because everything was in-game design. It was all within the engine, having still potential wildlife. I haven't heard too much of it about it. I'm still doing research on it, exactly how, if they're going to have realistic wildlife that you can maybe interact with or something. I'm not sure as of yet. But they showed a lot of wildlife that would be running around in the sandbox, which is a first of its kind.
Yeah, that sandbox thing is
the sandbox. It looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm not sure. It's not like an open world title, but it's like you're given this large mission area to work with. That like that's how they're doing it, something like that. Because I remember back last year when they showed off the first like gameplay footage release of it. It's like where the Master Chief drives a Warthog, he stops and he pulls up like this map screen where he has like multiple objectives listed to where he can go to in any order that the player wants. So it seems like they have like they're giving much more of like a player freedom in the approach of how they complete like missions and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if it's like fully open world or is it going to be like linear, like open hubs and stuff like that.
I got a feeling it might just be linear, kind of doing what some of the open world RPG games do, where they just you can complete a side or main quest. That doesn't have to follow suit with it in any particular order. You don't have to go in order. I'm sure that most likely someone will figure out the order on what to go for.
Yeah.
The right way to do it, but obviously it leaves a huge open door to look around the environment, to actually use the environment to your ability and maybe get the advantage on your enemies, or even just finding random elements in the game. Could be some hidden Easter eggs that, a certain weapon that's in a certain spot you didn't think you can get to. And even other small side missions that aren't exactly even part of it, could just be part on, could throw in some nostalgia back from the early games of Halos. A past character could come through, a certain thing that just kind of helps and morale, or since it looks like the whole story is that's based on from last year's gameplay and into this year's trailer, is that Chief is on set of Halo, and the remaining UNSC forces are either dead or scattered on the ring or scattered around the galaxy. Most of them saying that they were KIA or MIA. We don't really know as of yet, but the open world, just the sandbox itself, they showed from the gameplay last year, it did get a lot of hate for how
Okay.
uh, how
Makes-
bad the gameplay kind of looked in the
And the graphics,
skybox, but the skybox still looks amazing. Just having you can actually see a far ways away, and
Oh yeah.
most likely having that larger area from you can see from like a mile or two away, and being able to get access to that part of the map. That's just not for show.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what they're going to be going for. I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. But the latest gameplay, the multiplayer looks very, very
looks
good.
very fun.
And I was reading up on a ping system that's going to be coming into play, which is going to help out a lot of the both online interactions a lot better between character models fighting each other. So it's not just going to be one ping system that everybody has to rely off of. It's your connection is, if you're having crappy connection, that's on you. You're gonna not have a good game. If you have some decent one, you're gonna have a good game or whatnot. And the game itself is not gonna break down. There's which is pretty nice. Be nice to jump in, unlike MCC right now, where every time you jump in a game, it's very bugged all the time. I got gameplay footage that I recorded on my Xbox of just random things just happening because the game always breaks. There's so much stuff they added in the game. But the biggest thing is being able to explore around. Because the one thing I've noticed, and Halo's always been, in a lot of ways for the longest time, has been very one. They kind of lead you into a path. There's other areas to go around where you can maybe take another route and kind of explore, but it's not really there. I'm really hoping from what the looks and what they're talking about is you can actually explore around the map pretty freely with no boundaries or kill zones really that's just gonna throw you off or anything, which I really hope that would be the case because I would like to see more of the of what 343 is going to bring into the Halo world. I want to see more of Zeta Halo and see where I can go and kind of test the limits. I want to explore the skybox a lot instead of just kind of just being filled in.
Yeah, was it well, that's one thing I noticed again was when they showed off back in last year when they showed the gameplay, when the Master Chief like pulls up the map of like listing his current objectives. I think they are going to try to do more of that like exploration focused, as you said. It was how it was like you can go here and do this objective first, or you can like give like player agency to how they want to complete their missions and stuff like that. And also how the new gameplay mechanics was like the grapple hook. You can grapple on to ledges, and also with like I think fusion cores or something like that. You could grapple onto them, pull them towards you, and then throw them at an enemy and have it explode. Like that's a really cool update, like that Halo hasn't really done before with all that like grapple hook system.
Yeah,
and then,
I really hope that they really nail it on the head with this because the gameplay looks I'm just hoping that everything works, and the biggest like real critique would be having the game have all the content it has that all the content and the game having more content that you can unlock that isn't by that only just by a progression level, not by buying or useless Rex pack because nobody likes Rex pack.
Yeah, so from what I remember, this game has that like a battle pass system for the multiplayer at least. But it's like the most. I think the people saying it's like the most consumer friendly one that has been done so far. The only thing that I've noticed that has me a little concerned is that the multiplayer is going to be free to play, so it's a separate thing from the main story. But that means you're gonna have to pay full price just for the main campaign. And I feel like then the campaign has to be really good to make up for that full price purchase. Because there's the multiplayer being free, that like when you buy like a Halo game, like back in say like Halo Reach or something like that, you're getting multiplayer that's really fun with armor customization, and then you got that story along with it. But in this game, it's just like you only have to pay for the single player. not just the multiplex. That's all free, and then they have the battle pass system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least maybe the battle pass. Like at least I'm hoping is the whatever that battle pass is going to get you is going to be more armor that's just kind of like stuff that never made it into the actual release, or mostly just skins. The main armor sets that everybody wants to get, that everybody wants, should be in the progression system already. There shouldn't be anything to buy or anything from it. If the battle pass, because what COD did was they had all the weapons they want to put into the game, and then they had all the new weapons that never made it into the final production. They made them in afterwards that you can actually progress. If you buy the battle pass, you can progress through it, and and get that particular weapon as your main loadout. But what also is interesting, after the battle pass is over, there's a challenge that you can do, multiple challenges that you can do to still get that weapon. So you don't have to go back to buy the battle pass. It gives you the option. You don't have to buy the battle pass. At 30 days, it gives you to use the next battle pass for the season or for season or and it just gives you that option. It's like if you want to get the gun early and rank up a little faster, you can buy the battle pass, or you can wait a long time and do some challenges to get that same weapon later on after the battle pass is over and they're on to the next season.
Yeah. So what I hear what they're doing with this battle pass is as I said, there's still gonna be seasons and all that stuff. But I remember like during I think it was a multiplayer like interview with like developers, they're saying how if a player like joins in late and doesn't complete a battle pass before the season ends and a new battle pass comes out, that player can still progress the old battle pass from the season they missed by like, I believe when they level up their pass or something, they get like level points or something like that, where they can go back and can continue to progress the old battle pass, something like that. I know they revealed like one of, I think like the armor set you can get when you max out like the first battle pass is like this samurai looking one. It reminds me a lot of the Hayabusa armor from Halo 3. And they gave an example like if a player did not get that armor set, and when like season 2 comes out, he could still go back to the season 1 battle pass and still earn that armor by just like progressing through the game.
Yeah, I noticed that with MCC. Definitely noticed that, which is nice. It gives you that option to go back. It's not leaving you, I missed both opportunities, or if you work every day and you don't have the ability to get through, to get on and play from time to time. It gives you that option, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the weapon designs, I'm still a little I'm one weapon in particular, the sidekick, the smaller-esque Magnum that was introduced into the gameplay last year. Everybody says that why would you replace it with it? I got a feeling the Magnum is still going to be in it. And I also have a good feeling that what we're going to get, being that the galaxy is now very war-torn, everybody's scattered, including civilians, off their colonies, both from the events that took place from Halo 5 Guardians and into Halo Wars 2 into Infinite, that I wonder if they're actually going to put those are the new weapons, possibly, instead of, at least in my theory, I'm hoping that they're just the main weapons that we normally use, the DMR, the battle rifle, the AR, all those main 3 rifles that we love, and same thing with the Magnum, are still going to be there, but we're also going to have new versions of those that are your civilian-esque weaponry. Mostly because it looks like a weapon that a civilian can buy at down their local gun store or something like that, or like a service pistol for just an officer that isn't a Magnum for a soldier.
Yeah.
Wondering if they actually have some more weaponry that's more civilian-esque.
Well,
Because
I remember like they've shown off like in snippets here and there from like last year's gameplay trailer and this year's gameplay trailer. There's like a new sort of like assault rifle that's a slower rate of fire, but like fires like a heavier caliber. I'm not sure if it's full auto or single auto, but it's like one of those. It's like a mix between those two sort of rifles.
It was that DMR. It's fully auto. It fires a larger round. Probably like a 308 round comparable. Fires 308 or bigger than that. And has some heavy recoil, but it's stable at range. But it doesn't really look like a long range weapon. It looks something that would be more for medium to short range because the barrel is very small. It doesn't look like it's very short. It doesn't look like a really long barrel for longer engagements. Which the DMR was like that, was very for long range. The battle rifle was more short range to mid range, and the AR was mostly short range because it never had distance through any of the Halo games. Never it's ever had distance.
Yeah, you couldn't even scope with it. Or something
No.
like that.
But it was interesting what they have the scoping, the smart sights was everybody gave it a lot of hate on Halo 5s for their let's say probably GT can probably pull it up, the smart system for Halo 5 Guardians, which was the every weapon had its own sights, even though there wasn't physically anything mounted to it.
Yeah, like the shotgun
smart,
had one.
Yeah, it didn't. None of them had their own sights, which was really interesting to see. I hope that maybe something like they would have something like that, and it's nice going back to the older style, and it's cool that they're doing a reversion of the Halo Reach, the Halo Reach AR, and some of the other weaponry. Some of the brute weapons look pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
They look dangerous. Like some of them looked more crazier than some of the Forerunner weapons, and the Hydra launcher actually was from Halo 5 Guardians was actually pretty enjoyable to use. It wasn't that bad of a weapon. If you used it right, it was pretty good. It offered a lot for you. It was like this little miniature grenade launcher that went around. I say we could probably pull up some of the weaponry that was seen from Halo Infinite. Some of the weapons that were already seen.
I think did they rework? Was it? There's one I remember from Halo 3. There's a brute weapon in which it was like had a cylinder like drum that would rotate. I can't remember the name of it.
Like that shotgun has got a rotating cylinder on the bottom.
Yeah, that one. I think it seems like that one has like it still has a shotgun mode, but it seems like it has like an alternate firing system where it fires like a single slug.
Yeah, that is our that is going to be the Spunker rocket launcher, which is the classic rocket launcher from Halo CE. And if you go up to the one above it, that is the redesign from Reach, the MA4D, because the MA5D is in Halo Infinite and not Infinite, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo 4, and Halo CE and Halo 3. That MA5D. This is the MA4, MA4D or MA4B. Then they have the sniper rifle. Looks pretty much the same as the Halo 5's, like kind of like the show. Pretty much the main look. The scope is a little bit smaller, a little bit more square. Kind of made it more rectangular. Compared to, it's like a mix of Halo CE and Reach as far as weapon design, and the one which you're clicking on, GT, that's the shotgun that was put in. It has this rotating cylinder on the bottom. I don't know if this is going to be the complete replacement for the shotgun. It looked like it was a pump action, but also looked like it was full auto. I don't know, or just had a really, really fast firing rate and shell changing the what's it called? whatever is the shells would it look like they were able to eject a lot faster and fire a
yeah.
lot quicker, so that's what it looked like. There's a good possibility. The needler is still in play. Most likely some of the other weapons. It looked like the storm rifle, a new version of the storm rifle, is out in full swing. I didn't see the. I'll say GTC if we can pull up some of the brute weapons, the banished weapons. The banished weapons are pretty gnarly. Because even from Halo Wars 2, the banished weapons look pretty sick. Because they did their own. Yep, they did a reversion of which is called the Skewer. That's the old Spiker that they reworked.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like they have their own needle rifle and uh, the carbine as well. They have their own version, which is going to be probably really, really good as well. And they have the what's the one like stubby shotgun esque that was like back in Halo 3 for the
Oh yeah,
Brutes.
that was the one I was asking about earlier.
Yeah, that stubby one. I think that's the one in the center of the screen. I
Yeah,
think
that.
because I've seen that one.
Yeah, I think they showed it off in the
Mauler,
gameplay
the Mauler.
trailer.
That's what it was. The Mauler.
Yeah,
I think that might be making a comeback.
yeah, because I think they showed it off in the gameplay trailer or something similar, in which it was like it was like one of those revolver from like other first person shooter games where it fires like a single round but does like massive damage, something
Yeah,
like that.
and on Halo 3, if you basically had two shotguns with you, if you were dual wielding them close range,
Oh yeah,
you can kill someone in double hit.
yeah,
Because at close range it takes 2 hits to kill somebody. So if you had dual wield and you hit them once, they're done. They're
yeah.
down. Pretty gnarly. As far as the human shotgun goes, I don't know if that's what they're replacing with the shotgun with, unless it's just a new version shotgun, which I would like to see. Because Halo Infinite, Halo 5 Guardians had a really good idea of having these other new weapons, and then they eventually with the rec packs they had all those weapons side by side.
Mhm.
Eventually, only as Rex, but it was still interesting to see those weapons side by side. If they have majority of the original weapons that we've seen from all the other Halo games, and then they have some of the new weapons side by side with each other, it gives you a little more variety because every weapon can act a lot differently. The new shotgun could be for super close quarters. Could be for longer distance shotgun if it fired like 1 ounce slugs out of it, so they can get some really good range on it. And the regular stubby shotgun that we're always used to could have some bird shot, some buckshot in it for much more closer range. Uh, it would be interesting to see the new weaponry come out and really just kind of go out there with it,
Mhm.
because especially that this is going to be the last installment for Chief himself to be in a mainstream Halo game. I don't doubt there's not going to be the last Halo game ever made. There's most likely going to be another one.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see after Infinite. I would love to see another ODS Team S game. I would love to see another Halo Reach S game where you're not you can either be a part of a main story or just be part another mission in canon lore.
Mhm.
It would be really nice to see something like that, or even if they did something like ODST, a Marine flood survival esque that was either took the place of the events of Halo 1, 2, and 3 during the flood.
Mhm.
You were a Marine, so and have that increase to a horror game would be pretty bold, but would
Yeah,
be
that would
really,
be
really
definitely
cool.
an experiment, but I think a lot of people would appreciate that for like branching into new ideas for that franchise.
Yeah, Halo's not going anywhere just yet. Even though that this is going to be looks like they're going all in with it. I'm just hoping that they do come out swinging, and especially the game when it releases has. I mean, it's going to have its fair share of bugs, but I hope it's going to be bugged enough where there's just miscellaneous stuff that they can fix over time. But the game has to be enjoyable to play for the first like 2 months. If the
Yeah.
game's unenjoyable for the first 2 months, nobody's gonna really keep playing it. Nobody's gonna want to keep playing because the game's gonna keep crashing or gonna be bugged. Nobody's gonna have fun. So I'm hoping that they really did that because MCC, when Halo MCC launched, it had absolutely no content, and it was so broken, and it still to this day is so broken. It is very hard to, unless you have very good internet, and the bare minimum to enjoy, you need 20 megabytes a second.
Yeah.
And still, that's a lot these days because every single company nowadays is just charging through the roof just for 20 megabytes a second. And games are getting so advanced now that you have to have a minimum of it or better. Because everybody knows how on MCC Gravemind, if Dan is watching, Dan, he knows what me and him have been going through. Been complete hell because I've completed all Halo 2 Legendary solo, which I might have lost half of my sanity, if not all my sanity, from trying to do that solo, and I don't even want to attempt lasso. I don't want to. I'll do any other lasso but Halo 1 or Halo 2. Even Halo 1 I'll do. Not Halo 2. Forget it. Not happening. Halo 2 is already ridiculous as it is, and I was helping Dan trying to get JT, you know Dan. So I was helping him trying to get through it, and oh boy, we have fun. Ends in a lot of yelling, screaming, cursing, lots of more cursing, and losing our sanity every time we play.
Yeah.
But I have some good times. We have some good memories from it, and when we're trying to do challenges. But now we're so used to doing legendary that we just it's like, oh yeah, you want to do some campaign because we normally do me and him are normally doing the challenges, so we normally put it on legendary anyway. The challenges get completed faster that way, and we're just so used to it. There's like, oh yeah, we'll blow through this in like 10 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We got through the fastest run time, which I'm nowhere near the speed run records for Halo CE Legendary for those guys on Twitch. For those, tip my hat if I was wearing one to you guys. You guys are nuts, but the average player for me, I completed Pillar of Autumn in under 10 minutes.
Okay.
Speed running. That's still really good.
Yeah.
But I'm nowhere near the minute and 30 seconds for completing that level. So some crazy or like 2 minutes or so, whatever the amount of time is.
Yeah. Speedrunners are a whole different. They're a whole different level.
They're wild. They're on a whole different other level. Here, JT, come up to the one that's got that green little icon with the guy squatting down. It's got this like a little green alien pod right below it. Yep, that guy. Now this is going to be interesting, and they're taking a real rule book out of how Destiny's Ghost is like your personal companion.
Oh yeah, they're having like a personal AI sort of thing.
Yeah.
I believe for multiplayer.
I'm hoping that the customization is really going to be customizable.
Yeah, I know that for armor customization, at least so far, it's on top, medium, even a little bit more than Reach's level of customization.
Yeah, and this is the old CQB armor that was back from Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks exactly like that. Because
Halo
4, they had those CQB armors, and they looked nothing alike them.
Oh yeah.
This straight away, you can see them. And I was tempted to buy. I was at a Target the other day. I saw the Mark 7 Bravo armor and some of the collectible items that I got behind me. I was tempted to buy them, but seeing them in person, they look good. If the armor pieces look good in person, even just on a character form, you've done something good if the armor looks good in person too.
Yeah.
Because I'm really hoping everything. The armor looks amazing. Every armor. I don't think there's really not something that I don't like. The samurai armor. Actually, JT should try to pull it up on the screen. The samurai armor is going back to the OG days of the Hayabusa armor.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
saying.
it looks gnarly. Look at that thing. And that should be in the game, not a battle pass. That should be the last armor you should unlock at the very top, doing a hard mission, some hard challenges to complete to get that. If you want that armor, they should make you work for it. Because why put that in the game and not, in the base game, and not have that? Why would you not want to work for that? Because if you don't work for that, the game is not going to be enjoyable. Because it's like, oh, well, just shows that you can buy anything out of this game. And that's when the multiplayer is just going to fall right there.
Yeah, I'd be
They brought back the Hayabusa, too.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool if it was a nice little surprise that they just threw in. Oh, yeah, you also, if you get the samurai armor, oh, yeah, here's the Hayabusa one, too.
Yeah.
But make no notion of it being in the game. Just put it in there. And just be like, when you see samurai armor collected, when it tells you on the screen, it just says +1 armor as well. It just tells you like a +1 armor. You go look at like +1. What's this +1? Oh, there's a Hayabusa armor too. Sick. And now you can choose between either ones. That would be really cool if they did that, but I'm kind of out there with the dreaming.
Yeah.
Only hopes to dream because we still have a couple more months away. December is Halo Infinite.
Nice.
Which is I'm hoping that they really go forward with this because the gameplay the first multiplayer, seeing it on actually JT might be able to put it up on YouTube to actually see it. Yeah, instead of on the Google Images, you might be able to actually pull it up.
Oh yeah, it's I know one thing with the multiplayer is that it's like I said, they have that grapple hook. I just want to try that out because it looks really fun to use. I just love when a game includes like a grapple hook into its movement mechanics.
Yeah, it's they definitely took a playbook out of Doom Eternals with the meat hook.
Yeah,
with the super shotgun. They never took a playbook out of it. And still to this day, I would love if 343 Industries had done an official crossover with Doom. And Bethesda needs to do the same. Because everybody in the fan base
it's possible now because
has been
Microsoft
asking
owns
for
Bethesda.
Slayer and Chief to be not. They don't even care if they're enemies or not. Just be together.
Yeah, just have like a
cool.
a Slayer inspired armor in Halo.
Yeah, or just straight Slayer armor that you can unlock.
And it's even more possible now since Microsoft owns Bethesda.
That's where everybody because everybody wanted that before when Doom Eternal came out. But as soon as Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, everybody's like, okay, now you own them. Make this happen, please. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Come on, what are you waiting for? You can't possibly go over the legal status. All that legal crap just got cut in half.
Yeah.
Now you can do it. So if Slayer armor inspire or straight Slayer armor should be in Halo Infinite, and there should be Mark 6 or Junior armor available to unlock for the main storyline of Doom Eternal if they do a really cool update.
Yeah.
Play as Doom Slayer, but as Master Chief. That would be really gnarly because they have the what's it called, that unicorn armor, that white unicorn armor in Doom Eternal.
Oh yeah.
If they have that in the game, they can absolutely put Master Chief armor completely in there, no problem. Because they had the original Doom guy too. They had the classic.
There's a bunch of costumes for that game.
Yeah, so if they do that, and you're playing as Master Chief as the main Doom guy, and him taking his helmet off is just Doom guy, that would be pretty sick to see. And I would love, because that would be the best crossplay. Because Gears of War did that with Gears 5 did that with Halo.
They had it was Emil and Kat as playable characters,
which I have and I played with, and both are pretty awesome to see. And it's the original characters too. It's Kat's there, Emil's there, and they even had Sarah Connor in a T800.
That's
Dark
cool.
Fate, Terminator Dark Fate, which is awesome because because a couple times when I was playing horde mode or Hive Busters, I'm playing as either Emil or T800 or Sarah Connor.
Hmm.
It's pretty sick. So I really hope that they go all out with this. And so far, just the gameplay alone, it's not as very, jump around. It's okay, resorting to being on the ground, running around, normally like a normal person, and using your environment with you.
Yeah, that's
Going
one
back to
thing
the
I noticed.
grappling
It's
hook.
like, yeah, you can use the grappling hook for movement, but you can also use it for combat. 'Cause remember, I said like you can, and then in the gameplay trail, they grapple onto like a fusion cell, and then you can hold the fusion cell and then throw it at an enemy and have it explode.
And you can actually grapple an enemy. The one
Oh
spot
yeah,
where
it
they
was
show
the,
for you can grapple an enemy towards you and knock them down quick.
yeah, that's very much like Titanfall. I love that.
Yeah. I'm still I have this thing back in my mind is it would be pretty sick if they only just did this for the campaign's sake. It would be really cool if they did. Was they is like cause they have like the grappling hook with the objects or the individual or go into a location. It'll be really cool if you can use a grappling hook on a grunt, throw it at the grunt, bring the grunt over you, and you're holding the grunt in your hand. You throw it at an elite or a brute.
That would be fun.
Throw it at another enemy and just watch the enemy like disable the enemy for like it would like knock him over and like tremble him for a few seconds.
Mhm.
Like that would be pretty sick if it did that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And that would just be me. Oh, from a distance, from a bush, pew! throw a grunt right at your enemies. Be funny as hell. I would love to see that. But that's a lot of the Doom Eternal and Gears talking part of me. I know Halo's probably not going to do that. We got enough of the fusion core, which is really cool because you can just come around bush, fire it off, bring it towards you, get it ready, and throw like a grenade and disable your target or kill it with it.
Because I think what he does
It's
what he does in the trailer, he throws it at a turret and disables the turret.
Yep. I'm really hoping that they go all out with this because if they're showing all out for this, I'm hoping that they really go all forward with this. And they got a lot of criticism for delaying the game for so long. It's like, well, it's kind of a reason why Bethesda did it for so long because they realized we need to work on this game a little bit more. And the latest trailer from this year, the game, the details, the multiplayer,
it looks very good.
Better. It's not very blocky or like incomplete. The textures are actually there because before they were just flat. There wasn't no real textures there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and the story is a little odd. I've still been trying to piece together exactly what the story is going to be, but all in good time. So I can definitely say I'm definitely with this game. Regardless, I'm still going to get it. I'm 100% with it. So be ready, ladies and gentlemen, for December 2021. I'm also wondering how the game is going to play between having a Series X and just a Xbox One X because I have a One X. I haven't got the Series X yet.
Yeah, I'm not. I believe they.
I wonder how it's
going to
be on it.
Yeah, because I think they have said it's going to be cross-platform, right, or something like that.
Yeah. So, strong PC will definitely be able to run it.
Yeah,
but I'm also hoping that that you can run it on it because I have a One X. The One X is very powerful, and I switching to that compared to the regular one, the standard Xbox One that I've had for 5 years was a long due upgrade, and all the games run flawlessly.
Yeah,
and have a lot more graphic ability because it's able to do 4K now, especially. So every other game I played is amazing. So I no doubt in my mind that even if you have a One X, Halo Infinite's still gonna run flawlessly, beautiful, and still gonna look good. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna do what Cyberpunk did, I hope it doesn't, because that would be a real disappointment if it does what Cyberpunk did.
Oh yeah, that was a mistake.
That should have been a PC only start, but the game was just so bugged. But they rushed it.
And they were still trying to work on it. It was like I remember hearing a
it was work
story
in
come out.
progress.
There's a story that came out about a week or so ago. It was it was like an actual like developer from the game made a compilation of bugs, like showcasing like bugs and glitches and stuff like that, like one of those YouTube videos. The thing is, what this came out, but like this compilation was like people like looked into the date when it was made. It was made before the game even released, so
Yeah,
like they were well aware of that.
They were well aware the game was rushed too much, and the game should have released at least at this point in time. It
Yeah.
needed more time to properly go through it because they have it on PS4, they have it on PS5, which should have released on PS5, only in PS5. And I'm hoping that Halo Infinite doesn't do that. Even if they have it, all they need to do is just what they do with the Xbox One consoles. They need to just lower the graphics just down. Like they need to just actually turn the resolution down, and it might actually run a little smoother. But you're not going to have the much graphics. If they can pull that off without causing the game to freak out like it did with PlayStation. But then again, PlayStation is very old and outdated. Their stuff has always been outdated for so long. The PS5, I've seen a lot of stuff on the PS5, and the PS5 looks gorgeous. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But PC is you can fully customize everything you want to have. Pretty much you're buying a cheap beater car for the price of an awesome or a decent car, the price of a good PC to run any game
I just
want.
recently built a gaming PC like last month, and that was a journey of its own.
Yeah, I have the 1650 NVIDIA GeForce GTX
Nice.
graphics card on this. It's not a great graphics card. MCC runs pretty well. Gears 5 doesn't like it that much. The resolution and the textures are very delayed. Everything is just not. It's not right. I would want to see if I can maybe take this PC apart and put the better graphics card, which I think the level up is the one that's above this one, just so Gears 5 can run a little bit better, just so it's running capacity. Because it's not. This is like it's not really the better version of the 1080.
Yeah.
So I would try to maybe update it to the 1080 possible. It might be better.
I just wish you best of luck trying to find one. It was really
they're like impossible to find right now.
Yeah, I had a really hard time getting mine.
Everything is on back order, and
bots and scanner scalpers are buying them up. Is just I managed to get one at factory like mass retail price, like as from the factory. Now that was a 3070, so I'm very proud of that.
Woo. Yeah, the car market especially is just doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's like Miatas.
Yeah, Miatas are going up in price, and it's like, what?
Yes, it's the bro.
You tried doing that with 240s before? Nope. Now Miatas are doing it.
Yep.
Because they started doing with 240s, then it was 350s, and now it's doing it with then it was Civics, and now it's Miatas.
Yeah.
Now it's every Japanese imported car that used to be $8,000 to get you a nice, really clean right-hand drive imported EG or EF or whatever other car you wanted for $8-10 grand, really cheap. 12,000 got you a Skyline, really cheap. Now they're in the 20s again.
Jeez.
For the lowest base model Skyline you can buy in the 20s still. The GTRs went back up into the 40s. They were in the 20s for a year. 2 years ago, they were in the 20s, like high 20s, which was unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Since we're talking about cars, do you want to segue over to Forza?
Oh, yes. Let's go over to Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, because I remember I already have this wish list in my Steam because I've been wanting to get into this franchise for a while now. So I've been a PlayStation owner, and Gran Turismo has never been that big of a appeal to me since I want more of like an arcade sim. And that's what I know what Forza Horizon 5 tends to be. So I'm looking, or the Forza Horizon series in general, this tends to be more of an arcade sim. So I'm looking forward to like finally being able to try out this series.
Yeah, I'm not personally. I'm not happy, and a lot of the fan base is not happy with the map location. Everybody wanted Japan. Everybody asked for Japan. Everything led to Japan, and then they were like, "Nope, Mexico. Why Mexico? What's in Mexico? What is in Mexico? Desert,
Yeah,
more desert."
that was one thing I was worried about when I saw the reveal trailer for it. There was a lot of off-road stuff.
Yeah, it's everywhere you go. If you're not going on wide open, abandoned, random twisty roads that aren't straight roads, you're going to be off-roading the entire time.
Mhm.
It's not. I don't drifting on dirt is not easy. It's not that easy to pull off, and especially that the drifting physics for dirt in a video game. Obviously, you can do it in real life a lot easier, but the dirt physics and rain physics and snow physics are very, very different.
Yeah,
Rain is like you're on ice the entire time, or your dirt is like you're on really grippy grass. Mud, you're on what should be snow, but is still very, very grippy for whatever reason. Snow is not slick in any shape or form.
Mhm.
It's just like you're going through grass, and maybe the ice patches that would get you the car to slide out a little bit or randomly understeer. But the environment looks amazing. It
Yeah,
looks good. The game looks great. The sound for the vehicles is about time they fixed the sounds because they
yeah.
got lazy with
I heard
Horizon
Horizon
4.
4 had like some bad sound issues.
Bad sound issues and garbage, just recycled stuff. Because
Okay.
every single Honda in the game sounds the same except for the S2000.
Okay.
The S2000 still doesn't sound like an S2000. A B series, a K series, a D series, a J series out of the V6s sound all the same.
Okay.
There's no differentiation. Majority of the V6 Turbo or any V6s, any of the game, all sound the exact same. V8s too, all sound the same. Nothing is different about them. They were very, very lazy with the sound. I
Mhm.
don't know if it was just they couldn't get the sounds they needed, or they just said no, whatever, because they were in a rush. I don't know. I'm just hoping that an Evo, a 4B11 out of an Evo 10, sounds like a 4B11. I hope a
Yeah.
4G63 or 2G63 sounds like those motors. And it's not hard. If you really wanted those sounds, go on hey, turn 10. Take your phones or your computers. Everybody's got them now. Go on Instagram. Find someone with a 2G Eclipse or an Eagle Talon or an Evo or a K Series swap Civic or Integra, B Series, anything. Find somebody. Someone will gladly be like, "Oh, you want to use my car's some sound? Well, guess what? It has a really good exhaust. You can find those cars on the side. If you pay them money, they'll definitely let you do it
Oh yeah.
because my white Civic doesn't sound like a raspy Civic. It sounds like a Subaru
Yeah.
because the exhaust it sounds like a Subaru. So, you know, and with the exhaust change, I hope that some of the vehicles, when you do they really customization should really come down to the sound, to how well that exhaust really does change the sound.
Yeah.
Because if you do an equal length header exhaust on a Subaru, it's not going to have that crazy of a Subaru rumble.
Mhm.
If you do a unequal length header on a Honda, it's going to sound a lot like a Subaru. Or 4-to-1 headers, it's going to sound a lot like a Subaru. Same thing with like tubular manifolds or anything. And they should have the ability to actually have individual throttle bodies as manifold options for for it.
Yeah.
Not just this, individual throttle body esque, but intake runners, just actual open ITBs. And if you have those installed in the car, let it sound all that induction come in. And there's plenty of cars out there that you can look at, that you can find for sound that will give you all that induction. My wife's Civic has crazy induction noise, and you hear it. A B series should sound like a B series and should have that crazy VTEC crack at the very top. And a K series should have a multi-step, should sound like the K series.
Yeah.
Or anything else. Even the FK8 Type R that I have, my Type R, should sound like my Type R, not, a reuse cycle SR20 or an Evo. Should sound like an Evo, because they do sound different.
Yeah.
Or a Focus ST, if they ever actually put the car in the game, should sound like a Focus ST or a GT350, because the last game sounded like your typical run V8. Did not sound like the high revving Voodoo 5.2 that it revs to the moon. It doesn't sound like that at all. The only one that does is Motorsport 7. They had better sound than that, but still was very, very broken. The Supra sounds good from what they have. Unfortunately, what you're looking at, that is actually not that is a custom render that someone had done, because designs like that is not going to be in the game, guaranteed. Because I've been with Horizon since the very beginning, dating back to all the way for Forza Motorsport 2. It's just not as they won't do as crazy things as Need for Speed has done. Need for Speed crazy kits, and I really hope that every car should have some sort of kits, or even fender rolling. I would like to see the if they could put a body kit on a car, you should be able to do a little bit of some fender rolling, get a little bit of a wider stance with it.
Yeah.
Or do universal fenders that you could slap on any car that looks good, that doesn't look tacky. And should also have an option where, do you want the bolts exposed, or do you want the wide body to be molded one piece together? I don't know if you've seen that before, where the body kit's actually molded with the car and you don't see the seams.
Oh yeah, those look really good.
Yeah, something like that, because that would be very unique.
Yeah, I know like Need for Speed Heat does that a lot with your car customization. That you can have like various options of how you want to choose your fenders. Some cars, they have limited choices when it comes to like choosing stuff like that.
Yeah, because now it's just the bumpers, the wing, and the side skirts.
Yeah,
you should have quarter panels, taillights, headlights. Even doing some aftermarket companies have carbon hoods, carbon trunks, carbon roofs, carbon doors, carbon everything. You can have an entire car made out of carbon.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, instead of just doing the wrap, which everybody does. It's carbon. It's a whole carbon car. It's the theme. But this is just a factory bumper with a splitter and canards, and some and looks like wide body fenders, front and rear. They should have the ability to run that same kit, but also put a different kit if they wanted, like a Varus body kit, bumper front and rear, but have front fenders that are wide body.
Yeah.
They should have more customization, because every kit out there. Here, actually, go for example. I can actually show you this, JT. JT, look up the FK8 Varus kit, Varus wide body kit, FK8, just without Horizon 5 in it. You can see what I mean. You're gonna have like a straight crazy kit like this. Get rid of the Forza. FK8 wide body Varus kit. Do the wide body Varus kit. You'll see what I mean, because they have multiple kits. Like, they have the standard Varus kit, which is just a bumper. And then they have the wide body kit, which has the widened fenders, even more wider fenders in the front that are one piece, and have wider rear arches, one piece. That got to get molded in and stuff. Plus the lip kits. there should be variations to it. And even look down to the TCR at the bottom, right below you, GT. Click on that one. That is the Honda factory. That is the TCR bumper that you can also buy as well. Like stuff like that, like actual body kits that are here, even bumpers. Because Need for Speed has always been the king of customization.
Oh yeah.
The Horizon will never, unless they do what Need for Speed is doing with the customization, they'll never beat them. They're never going to. You want to see if I can go back. Look up Varus. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. What's a good car I can show you that has a crazy kit? Because the Toyota Supra doesn't, even in Horizon 4 and all the Horizon games, doesn't really has your basic body kits of like the 90s and 2000s of like Fast and Furious era, but they don't really have anything crazy. Look up Dan Burkett's Toyota Supra and see the wide and see the body kit on his Supra. Dan Burkett. Supra 2021. His body kit, and he's a FD Pro. He's a FD1 driver, and see what the crazy kit is. Like seeing those kits would be nuts, and I'm pretty sure anybody, if they hire or even pay, someone like Rad Dan or any other drifts, even look up Adam LZ's S15. S15. Not Super, S15. Even with that, like, look how crazy that kit is.
Yeah.
From version 1, the brown one, to version 2, which is down right below it. Seeing those crazy kits, if they really want to go nuts with that, they have kits for literally for every car possible. Those are just complete wide kits. They should have those kits in the game, because if the real cars can get them, why not put them in this?
Yeah.
And they are very limited with how much they say. Oh, we're limited. No, you're not. Take out the supercars that nobody drives, that nobody cares for.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about those supercars, because all they're gonna do is take the Aventador
And put chrome wrap on it.
put it in whatever car it can hold, make it 1400 horsepower, and make it all-wheel drive, and make it the fastest thing in the game. You want some real customization that isn't, do this. Do what these guys are doing. Real kits. Even if you want to do with some Fast and Furious era, some sex spec show car era of the 90s and 2000s, go for it. Have it in the game. Put it in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's so much things that you can do. There's a lot of things that you can put in this game. And all they're emphasizing on so far with this trailer is not... I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good game and sell.
The biggest emphasis of the trailer was the location, honestly. They talked about the location like so many times in that trailer.
Yeah. Here, JT, look up Japanese car culture.
Oh, it's Touge Racing. I love those.
Or Yashio Factory. Like, these are the craziest cars, the Bazooka cars, because they use what they got. These are the oddest cars you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Cars like these. Now, imagine if it was set in Japan. Do you know how angry every fan base of Forza and Car Guy would be upset if it didn't have one of these cars available to build or buy? Those crazy Bazooka cars. See the giant splitter, the crazy like double deck wing, and the exhaust that's going onto the other side of the car above it, like stuff like that. Or even actual cars like a JZX90, a Toyota Laurel, or a Nissan, a Toyota Crown, a Nissan Gloria. Yeah, right there. See that JZX100 to the left? Right below you. Like that. JZX 100, 4-door Supra, 1JZ GTE. You can get a VVTi or non-VVTi, turbocharged, 6-speed, 5-speed or automatic luxury car. And they have so many driving roads out there. They have very large highways that are very straight. You can top out a car anywhere.
Yeah, like the Midnight Club, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's straight Midnight Club. Like,
Yeah.
but this is what they would have to do. They would have to put all the cars that made it in Japan, even K cars, available to drive. They can have all the off-road cars they want, but they have to have them. Because why would you not have them? If you're having cars that only are available in UK or in the States, in Japan, because Japan is very limited on it. The best vehicles have come out of Japan. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's
So,
very true.
Why not have all those cars that it's not hard. You can pay these companies, and you're going to have to pay these companies, and they're already doing that with these crazy expensive supercars that nobody buys. I have all those supercars that I won in my wheel spin for Forza Horizon 4. I don't use them. Most of them go on the auction sale, so I can buy another Japanese car that made it into it, or a car that actually took the debut. Per se, like the Honda Type R, like my Civic Type R, for example, an NSX, no, I'm saying a lot of Honda stuff, but a R31 Skyline, the Hakusura Skyline, the late 60s, the one that's to the left, that's right next to the red car. Yeah, that one.
That's a Skyline like something 2000, I think, right?
Yeah, 2000 GTR, the C10.
Yeah.
The Hakusura. And look below it. Look right where Mount Fuji. Like a car like that, I would like to get a Corolla 886,
the newest Need for Speed game, the latest one, has the TTR 2000 in it as like an option to buy and customize.
Yeah. And the customization is going to be much better than Horizon. That's the one thing that's I've ever noticed. And Need for Speed had this new because they always have body kits before throughout the games when they came out with Need for Speed Underground. And Need for Speed Carbon, they had this interesting thing called the Auto Sculpt feature, which basically you pretty much made your own body kit from scratch.
I remember that
really
feature.
cool.
I play a lot.
I did that with Pro Street. Only 2 games to ever do that. If they did that, they would definitely beat, because any car would be, you can make your own body kit to your spec, to your liking, no matter what. It would take a lot of time to do that, but nobody really cares about those supercars that don't exist, because the company charges way too much money for them, and they're not a performing car as something else. Here, go to Horizon 5. Go to some of the car list that is there. Let's see. A C8 Corvette, absolutely. That's a feasible car.
Yeah, I actually really like the C8.
The Ford Bronco, great, perfect. It's a perfect off-road car to begin with, and it's going back to the old age. It's perfect. It's a good car to have. So you're the Supra. Everybody loves a Supra.
Yeah.
The Porsche, the Panamera, not Panamera.
I believe it's Taycan or something like that. That's the
Taycan. The electric, the all-electric.
The Taycan or something like that.
The Taycan, or whatever the one is. I know I'm forgetting. I'm gonna remember it later and be like, oh, that was it. That car, that's something that's worth buying and is awesome. That's something that people with a lot of money, they would buy that one. More trucks. If they have trucks, I don't just want to see a Colorado that may have been introduced. I want to see like a full size. I want to see a standard F-150. I want to see a Raptor. I want to see a Silverado. I want to see a Cummins. I want to see a Ram 1500. baser models. I want to see a Ford Ranger. I want to see basey model cars, not just your standard crazy hypercars, because they have
Yeah.
big list. McLaren cars are great. The Lamborghini cars are great. Mercedes cars are great. Let it be that. They can have a Bugatti Veyron if you wanted to. They can have them. Cool. This other weird cars that we don't get in the States, they put them in a game, and it's like, we didn't really ask for that car. And when you get that car, nobody's like, oh, I like this car. I want to keep using this car. Because when you get those cars in the game, you're unbeatable. Because the game is going to because in a video game, it's so hard to make like a beater 240 or a beater Civic handle like a supercar.
Well, you
Even
can
the
do that
FK8.
easily in Need for Speed Heat, though. That's one thing with
Yeah.
Heat.
The game mechanics allow you to do that. No matter in motorsport, Forza Motorsport, I've taken a stock Civic Type R and I've tried to run it against a GT500.
Mhm.
Or not GT500, GT350R. The GT350R, without it constantly wanting to slide out all over the place because it's supposed to be a grippy car, not this crazy wild animal drift car it's just going to end up turning to. Front-wheel drive cars in Forza games are garbage, no matter what. If you have a supercar, you win every race. They're the fastest, they handle the best, they program every good detail to what's like driving the real car in real life better than any other car they put in the game. So it's like, when you do these suspension upgrades, you're canceling yourself out. You're wasting a lot of time on trying to make a beater bomb Civic handle better on track than an actual FKA Type R or a Porsche 911 Carrera S or a GT3 RS.
Yeah.
For that sake, it's not. They don't really. I don't know if it's just they don't care or they're lazy. I personally think they just don't care because at this point they want you to buy only those expensive cars and only drive those crazy cars. And when you go off-road, they want you to buy those crazy spec'd out only off-road vehicles that you can only drive off-road. And that's it. They don't want you driving anything else. If you drive anything else, it's like, oh yeah, we have this car, it's cool, but we really want you just to drive this particular car. Nobody really cares about those cars. They want to be able. The point of customization is to make your car exactly the way you want it in your spec.
Yeah.
And how you want to tune it, that's on you. That's your ability. If you're not able to do that and all the tuning and time you're able to put into it, it's not going to really work out. It's really hard to do that.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed. Like when I played a lot of Need for Speed Heat last year because I was stuck inside and stuff like that. But that was one thing I noticed myself, and also my brothers who also played the game noticed, is that we didn't want to go for like the high performance like supercar like Lamborghinis because there was not much we can do for modification stuff like that. There's not much we can do for personalization other than just like the wrap. And like when it comes to like in like Need for Speed, for example, one of the big points is making your car look like it's your own thing and modifying the performance up to like max level. That was one thing I remember I really liked with Need for Speed Heat was that you can like take the Mazda Miata, like the NA Miata, and make that all the way up to compete with like the top tier hypercars or something like that.
Yeah. You can do those same things, but only in a straight line.
Yeah.
You can only do it in a straight line in Forza. And I've always been a real pain with that because when they introduced the drag setup in Horizon 4, it was a really cool idea. All-wheel drive cars, they either spin city or they bog like crazy and they wheel hop, or in the front-wheel drive cars just spin no matter what. They never grip and book. Even there's so many cars out there, and I know exactly who builds these cars, especially I can name a couple of them, who literally either they just spin off the line just a tad for the first 60 foot and they're gone, or they hook and book and they're out. I know I can name a bunch of different cars on that,
Yeah.
and the only ones that handle the best are the rear wheel drive cars. It's like, well, do you think that all drag cars are rear wheel drive cars? Most of them are, because that's how all the cars used to be back in the day, was rear wheel drive. That's how all of them used to be. But then they now have front wheel drive, pro front wheel drive, all wheel drive cars coming into the mix, supercars coming into the mix for drag racing. So it's like you now have to make those all wheel drive cars act like they should when they launch, because a lot of times a crazy all wheel drive, because it's been a lot of times when all wheel drive Civic will go up against said supercar and take it to Gapplebee's
Yeah.
by a mile. And you see the Civic launch and he's spinning all four on the start, and then after the 60 foot he's gone. He's out. You can't touch him. Same thing with the Evo or a really fast Subaru. They're gone. That's it. Or even like a Civic on the streets. A Civic on the streets, a really gripped up tire Civic will spin for the first like few seconds and then grip up. See you later. I'm freight training past you and I'm gone. In the game, they're just like, oh yeah, you're maxed at 500 horsepower or 700 horsepower is the fastest 4-cylinder Honda motor you can make.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the fastest Civic on the planet is a 2,000 horsepower billet block B20 B series car. That was from the competition. It was the competition clutch EG hatch that had the record for the fastest Civic on the planet. It trapped the fastest speed, and it was in the sevens. Actually, yeah, it was in the sevens. They tried to go for a 6, and then the car got totaled last year, which is really unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
But that is one crazy car.
Yeah.
They have Speed Factor Racing has their all-wheel drive B series car, and it's in the sevens, and it traps 180 miles an hour. Like a Civic can do 1,000 horsepower. They need to stop with this horsepower crap.
Yeah.
This horsepower cap, because it's like the only cars that can trap over 1,000 is either
Hypercars,
certain V8 cars or supercars that trap over that amount of power. No, because when you go up against like a stock Hellcat, and you have this 500 horsepower Civic with a really big tire in the front, with a slick in the front, he's gonna blow right past you. You ain't catching him. He's gonna go. They need, and even with you put in like in a 240, an LS swap 240 on the streets is nuts.
Yeah.
That thing is fast, because that's where that power to weight ratio really comes into play. They don't really take that into account, because I mean, they have the 720S right here on the screens, which it's a gorgeous car. I have seen it in person. It is a gorgeous car. This dude has a dark gunmetal gray one in Wappingers. He has one. Okay. He's got the lime green calipers and some real carbon forged wheels, which are beautiful. It's a gorgeous car.
It's a nice car.
But the other cars I see there, nobody really cares about. Unless it's a car that you've seen in person and modify, it's not. Nobody really cares about. Cares about that stuff. Unless even like a Lamborghini not Aventador, a Huracan or an Audi R8 V10.
Yeah.
The guy from Kyle 1320 video did AMS turbo kit on it, and he's in the 8s. I think he went 8s, either 8s or 9s. Stock transmission, stock engine, 1,000 plus. He's making 1,300 horsepower, like that. Because there's cars out there that have a higher cap than what the game will ever give it.
Oh yeah.
and they don't understand that.
Yeah, that's
And
something
how
they
they
have
build
to
it will
address.
have more torque. They need to stop with the horsepower cap
Mhm.
and have these unique builds that if you build a block a certain way, you're going to get a lot more power than you think. So they need to stop doing this power cap
Yeah.
because it's cool. It's great for a game, but if you really want to customize stuff, most they should have stock engines, stock actual blocks
Mhm.
should be stock blocks. They
Yeah.
should not be saying, "Oh, here's a bore out kit that you can upgrade, but it's only going to give you 10 horsepower." No, that's not how it works. You do a big bore kit on your block, you're going to get a lot more power than on that. Like even what like this supercar. This is a car we don't even get. We don't get this car in the States.
Oh yeah, it's the title
Why
car for
advertise it
the
so
game.
much that you want people to buy it? Because nobody's going to get it. Most of the time, people are
I had no
actually going
idea it
to get this
existed.
car. People are going to get this car in the wheel spin, and it's going to go on the auction and sit on the auction because nobody wants these cars. The cars that sell on the Horizon 4 auction are cars like my FK8 Type R, a 240 SX that they can't even get in the game because they had to grind the game out so ungodly difficult just to get. Those certain cars that are on the this new progression system where you have to get a back. It's called a backstage pass. You get one backstage pass after completing. I kid you not, literally 2 seasons of the hardest challenges possible. Some of them are easy, some of them are ungodly difficult, and you only get one car to pick. And you only get that one car. If you got another one, you can't buy a second one. You're only restricted to buying one.
Mhm.
So if you wanted to sell that car sells for a lot of money in the auction and sells instantly. This Mercedes, I would love to race this Mercedes because this is sick. That's a cool that is an awesome car.
But it's like
Mercedes.
something that we're never going to be able to get though.
That car will come to the States.
Oh, will? Okay.
But we will never see it because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be too expensive and very limited
Oh
numbers.
yeah.
But a car that's going to be available to buy on the market that isn't going to be a collector's item like the last car before. Nobody's going to buy that car in real life. And if they do, it's just going to sit. It's going to be one guy buying it, one or two guys buying it the most.
Mhm.
It's not a good car. The C8 Corvette, a lot of people are buying them. It looks cool.
Yeah, I am very attracted to that car. It's very nice looking.
Oh, the C8 Corvette is amazing. It's
Yeah.
an awesome car. And the thing is just like I hate that even the supercars in Horizon, all the Horizon games, supercars don't act any different to any terrain. You could take them off road. You can put off road tires on them or snow tires, and they are unbeatable on any
Mhm.
terrain. It doesn't really matter. I hate that because a supercar does not handle good in the snow
Yeah.
at all. It is the worst car to take in the rain or in the snow or in the mud. It is the worst cars to take. So why is it, why would it not have that? And mostly
Yeah.
the biggest thing is the, AR-12 definitely was really upset about how it did not come out in Japan. And it's most likely not going to have a lot of vehicles that should have. And a lot of body kits that are available to buy are going to be the same refreshed body kits that have been played since Forza Horizon 3.
Okay.
And when the game comes out, I don't really want this game. I'm not really into it. I'll watch the gameplay when it comes out and see all the new game because the one thing that really aggravated me was when they did this backstage battle pass crap and have these vehicles be these vehicles that I want to actually work for and get. I couldn't get. Forza Horizon 4 has been out for 2 years,
Mhm.
and I couldn't get the Civic Type R, the FK8, the car that I own. Couldn't get the car in the game, even though it was heavily advertised and it was in multiple cutscenes. I couldn't buy it because it was only available as a wheel spin. What? If you were gonna, and I really hope they learn this mistake because everybody got aggravated with this. Every time they come out with a new car, it wasn't a car that they could just buy or do a race in the main campaign story and get. It was on a multiplayer challenge only, and it was very hard to get to begin with, or was only on a wheel spin or on a backstage pass. And normally, if you want a car, you do a progression system and you get it through a race in the main story, or you save up the money and you buy it in the store.
Mhm.
They didn't release any of the cars in the main store. So if they have this game come out and they keep releasing new cars, and you can't even get access to that car regardless, unless you do a certain thing, or because a lot of people have, because I noticed a lot when these YouTubers did the reviews on their cars, I noticed that they're getting a lot of help from Forza.
Yeah.
Because obviously Turn 10 Studios is keeping an eye on who's playing the games. So for those people, they get to try the car out for free because they get a deal out of it. So they get to try the cars for free. Meanwhile, everybody else has to work for it and most likely will never get it.
Yeah.
And the ones who do, they go on the auction site and good luck getting them. They're spending 1 million credits, for that car that was only $20,000. 20,000 credits.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay looks good. It looks better. It's still too early for a new Horizon game to come out, and they're doing the same mistake with Call of Duty, having multiple Call of Duty games come out.
It's
every
such a
year.
such a quick span of time.
Modern Warfare was perfect when they did a new Modern Warfare. It was great for them to come out because the Call of Duty game looks nothing like an ever Call of Duty game before.
Yeah.
Then a year later, not even, Cold War comes out. And now you have Cold War going with the same things as Modern Warfare. So it's like,
It looks
what
exactly
game
the
should
same.
you really buy? Because now they turned Warzone into 1984 Verdansk. And it's just like, well, now I don't really know what game to buy because I might as well just not buy either of them.
Mm-hmm.
When Modern Warfare came out, for the first couple months it came out, it was great. The gameplay was really nice. It was very smooth. Some of the weapons were a little overpowered, mainly the M4. I leveled that thing up really quick. But the gameplay was enjoyable. It was still enjoyable. It was really good. The campaign wasn't obviously part of it, but the realism was really good. I really enjoyed it. They should not have ever come out with Cold War. I never even want. I looked at some of the gameplay and everything. It was just, boy, was not the storyline I was expecting when I played it. Was not expecting it. And it's like, this is like garbage. This is just recycled. They wanted to redo Black Ops 1 so bad that they just shot themselves in the foot. There's no point of really buying Cold War or Modern Warfare if the game is recycled. The game acts the exact same, except very subtle differences between the gameplay mechanics itself. They're really the same.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed.
Better.
The graphics are pretty much the same. When I first saw like gameplay footage for Cold War, is that I noticed it looked pretty much exactly like Modern Warfare, except in like a 1984 or 1980s setting.
Yeah, and all they needed to do is, first off, just not come out with the game entirely. And if they wanted to do something like that for Cold War, why not just have? Because you remember back in the day with games did expandable DLC, downloadable
Yeah.
content that was
Oh yeah.
they had expanded campaign or multiplayer versions of it. Um, they had for Gears 3 and Halo Reach, and uh, they had extra downloadable content that was extra, of course. But Gears 3 really did this, especially nailed it on the head, where they had Gears 3 as the base game,
Mhm.
and they had an extra campaign called ROM Shadow, and you took place of Kilo Squad, not Kilo, Zeta 6, and you're playing with Lieutenant Kim from Gears 1, and you run into General Rom, and you fight through that story.
Didn't Halo 4 do something similar with the Spartan
Spartan
Ops?
Ops,
Yeah.
which and that got a lot of hate too, but still, it's cool to have a separate. If you really wanted to branch to another game, just put it as a downloadable content, as extra stuff.
Yeah.
That's all they had to do for Cold War, was have a Cold War expansion pack. You can have the multiplayer characters be in it and do the certain events and certain maps that you wanted to put as Warzone for 1984 and for standard Warzone. All they had to do was just make it as a expansion pack, not
Yeah.
a full game. They did not have to go full game. They really did not. Because they could have added that same bullet, slow motion bullet that they show, and you're following the path of the projectile straight into the target. They could have done that as a DLC mechanic only for the campaign. They could have only done it for that because that's the only time they ever had it. They could have done that, been done. They would have sold it a lot better. The game would have been better because look at Destiny. Destiny has that too. The new expansion.
Mhm.
They didn't have to make a whole new game. Eventually, they had to make a whole new game because
Because the game was getting too big, and I
game
think
was getting too big.
Activision made
It
them
was
make a sequel.
having running issues, which MCC, for example, is still having problems because they keep adding stuff, and it's like, yo, stop. The game can't take anymore.
Yeah, and that's where whenever Call of Duty like Modern Warfare or like Warzone update comes out, it's like how many gigabytes is required just to update the game at that point. There's like a meme in the community how big the update files are for a new Call of Duty update.
Yeah, it's so massive. All they had to do was put the game as a DLC expansion pack and run it. The game would have been a lot better. It just would have been a lot easier. Because now they're doing the same mistake as they always done in the past, is just make Call of Duty games every single year, and nothing is different about them. The only one that was different about it was Modern Warfare being completely different from the ground up for once.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 was the exact same, was very the same compared to Black Ops 2, Black Ops 4, exact same as Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the games? Infinite Warfare, the exact same thing as Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, exact same. Nothing was different about them but the storyline. The gameplay, near identical. Weapons, near identical. They weren't good. The games aren't good. I played Black Ops 4 with my buddies. Did not like it. Will not go back to it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I never did. They're just not good games. I do not like how they are. All they wanted to do, what they should have done, is just go back, make it a DLC expansion pack that was just a campaign version only. Do what Destiny and Gears 3 have done. Would have been perfectly fine. The game, it would have been much better.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign to begin with. It was just multiplayer and battle royale.
Yep, which is and that's the thing. It's just like, all right, well, this game is not getting repetitive.
Yeah,
Modern Warfare has a campaign.
I've seen free-to-play games that have more content than Black Ops 4, for example.
I mean, now Fortnite is coming out with a multiplayer, a single player, or a campaign storyline.
Hmm.
Which Fortnite is a horrible game to begin
Yeah,
with.
don't let's not talk about that.
No, let's not talk about it. Let that game die. Because the last thing we need is 6-year-old kids. No,
JT, don't
JT.
do it.
No, no, JT. We don't need 7-year-old kids telling when Halo Infinite comes out. Oh,
That's the guys from
343
Fortnite.
Industries. They stole the green guy from Fortnite. No. Fortnite stole him. And it was cool because it's like, oh, that was really cool because they brought him in as like this cool little
It's
a really cool
yeah,
intro.
it's a skin and stuff like
There's
that.
this really cool skin that they brought into the game as like a nice little trailer, but it's like, yo, you guys took it way too seriously. It was already enough when they had John Wick in there, and who else they have in there? They have
Everyone, they have like everyone in there.
Ellen Ripley
Rick and
from
Morty.
Alien. Who else do they have in there? I wonder. But
The newest one was Rick from Rick and Morty.
oh
I'm not
yeah,
joking there.
Now they have Rick from Rick and Morty. I mean, what's next? Meeseeks? Meeseeks, I would understand because Meeseeks is Meeseeks. He would fit in that game to bring. Chief, no.
Yeah, Fortnite is just becoming like a advertising platform, essentially. That's all it is now.
And it's not. The gameplay is so bugged and just does not make sense.
Mhm.
I shouldn't be able to snipe someone from across at 200 meters. Given 200 meters is a pretty good distance. I shouldn't have to take a buckshot only firing shotgun that only fires buckshot, hit someone at 200 meters, and get an instant headshot. Instant. When they have full armor and health. What? No, that's not how that works. Because when that round explodes, that is going everywhere. And at 200 meters, that thing is long gone. You're scraping stuff at that point. There's no way you're hitting anything at 200 meters. If it was a 1-ounce slug, I could kind of see if you definitely got to aim down. The weapons are garbage. There's no difference with anything.
Yeah.
This progression, like legendary or exotic crap, is just a weapon's a weapon. But
I think when it comes to battle royales, Apex I think does it best for its weapon system, in which each weapon is like a common rarity, but then you get attachments that that help upgrade it and stuff like that. But I haven't touched Apex in a while. I know they had a new season came out like last month or two ago or wasn't, but I haven't played it since.
Yeah, I played Apex when it first came out. Played through the first season a little bit. Then I just ended up deleting it after. Same thing with Fortnite. I just got tired of it for a while.
Yeah, I only played it mainly because I liked the Titanfall universe. Titanfall is a great franchise, but like I want a Titanfall game, not a battle royale game, essentially at this point.
Yeah, I have yet to still play Titanfall 2 though.
Oh, it's amazing. It's honestly it's probably one of the best first-person shooter campaigns out there, and the movement in it for the multiplayer is amazing.
Because I really enjoyed when Titanfall came out.
So
I really enjoyed when that came out. I was like, whoa, this game is pretty good.
So the people who made the campaign for Titanfall 2 actually made the campaign for Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, like Call of Duty 4. Mm-hmm. They were the same guys that did this one. Yeah. So there's a mission like halfway through the campaign that is just amazing, incredible how they do like this storytelling and gameplay. It's honestly if EA didn't release this game between I believe it was between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, it would have been a much major player in today. But it was released between two other major first-person shooter franchises, and it just didn't sell well.
It just didn't sell well because they saw how bad Infinite Warfare flopped.
Yeah.
And the last thing they needed was that game to flop. And because at that point, people were like, "Oh, a futuristic shooter game, another one that you do the exact same movements as Titanfall."
Mhm. But like
Nobody liked it.
Titanfall's move is so
Titanfall's
much
movement
cleaner than
it's
like
so much better.
yeah.
So much better.
You can clearly see that Call of Duty tried to copy it, and like when Titanfall 2 is
Oh yeah,
just smooth.
Call of Duty has always had the to try to to copy Halo's pretty much anything with Halo.
Mhm.
Given that Call of Duty is actually older than Halo, but Call of Duty years ago, before Halo, was the exact same game over and over and
Yeah.
over again. Same thing with Medal of Honor and Battlefield. That was the only thing they were able to do back then, but it was the exact same game over and over again, something slightly improved.
Yeah.
Still very big. Uh, it was a huge influence and a huge success, every one of them.
Mhm.
But it still lacked when they came out to the later titles that afterwards it was just repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
That they noticed that between all the different Halo games, everything was different about them. Something new was in it, and it wasn't just one new weapon or a new location. There was multiple locations, multiple new weapons, multiple new strategies. The way the enemies reacted are a lot different. Some are a lot tougher. The
Yeah.
difficulty settings are a lot more intuitive. Everything is changed significantly, and Call of Duty took notice of that. Did they do a good job with it? No, nowhere near. So that's when they got on the thing where Black Ops 2 was just to try to copy Halo with their sci-fi esque futuristic war, and then they just kept doing it over. And then
Yeah.
Halo 4 changed their art design, and then Black Ops 3 came out, changed their art design, very aggressive esque to Halo's new art design, and then COD, and then Activision finally came out with Modern Warfare, which was back to their roots. A
Yeah.
game that worked, that they can improve and make looks beautiful. It was a real competitor because now you had to choose, okay, do I want to play Halo or do I want to play Modern Warfare? And Modern Warfare 2 remastered. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's right. The campaign got
Absolutely gorgeous.
remastered.
Oh, yeah, the campaign got remastered. It looks amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. If they remastered the multiplayer the exact same way it was released, I would be on that more than Modern Warfare. Everybody would ditch Modern Warfare and Cold War completely. Because
Yeah.
everybody would go back to
Because these were the
having
good
to-
old days, essentially.
Exactly, just like the good old days. It's a very big move, but then again, you knowing exactly what would happen if they did that, they would do the exact same thing they did to COD 4
Mhm.
when they remastered COD 4. Was the gameplay was the multiplayer was remastered the exact same way, but they introduced the loot and rec system. They introduced that, and it fell apart because none of the new weapons acted like they should have been. They need
Yeah.
to just leave the gameplay alone. Just remaster the graphics, open the servers back up to Xbox One servers, and people would flood in there by the masses.
Mhm.
Would ditch all those other games. Verdansk, who? Warzone, what? It would be back to the good old days. Search and destroy the noob tubers, even though I hated it. Want those old days back because the gameplay made sense for the time.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that at least. But I'll see if maybe we can go down, JT, to some of the locations that was in Modern Warfare 2 remastered. It was the very famous No Russian mission. Oh yeah, that one right with the White House. Like they redid that level so beautifully done. It is gorgeous. The rain has so much more texture in it. Actually, they put a better effect on it, so it actually kind of like obscures some of your vision a little bit.
Mhm.
Everything is much darker. There's a lot when the light hits it, it actually reflects in that spot better. There's more detail. It is gorgeous. I loved every part of the remaster. It is awesome.
Yeah.
They did a really, really good job with that. I'm very happy they did that. Now they just need to make the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And if they do the multiplayer, like they did with they just need to make it as an expansion pack. They just need to do that, and then it will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See where that one, JT, like that. That's the difference. That is awesome. They did a really solid job with this, and reliving when Shepard betrays you is in the glorious remastered form is just chills.
Yeah, it's a very nice looking remaster.
Yeah, the gameplay is it acts just like a normal COD game, and then they also added the feature in what they did with is they have the weapon you can inspect the weapons,
Oh yeah.
which is a really cool feature. I really like that feature where you can actually inspect the rifles or the weapons, and it's cool. All the weapons exact feel and play the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see where it's like showing the weapons. It has the ability to in the remaster to actually inspect the rifles, which is really, really cool. It's nice how they have it. See a nice the AK-47. You can see everything. All the details are much more intense. The magazines, the polymer magazines they used are a lot more detailed. The metal magazines are a lot more detailed out of the M4 and the M16. The SCAR, the same thing. Even the tab, the little quick release tab on the SCAR 8, on the SCAR H, that's a little rubber tab that goes underneath the magazine. And when you have it in your vest, instead of having to like reach in with your fingers, it comes out a little higher so you can grab it quicker and slap it in the rifle.
Okay.
Everything is very more detailed, and your ACUs, your camo, your gloves are a lot more. You can see very subtle details of the Velcro going around your gloves.
Yeah.
That is pretty nice to see.
Okay.
I gotta say, I know I've been quiet most of the time. I've been letting you guys do all the talking, which I deeply appreciate it. But I gotta say, these graphics do look amazing. Truthfully, for the remaster, they really do. And this is coming from someone who doesn't play video games really at all, but this is like that just looks amazing. This photo that we have up here of the AK-47 looks amazing.
It's pretty great because even with the Halo remastered stuff, like even the gameplay for Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo 1. Halo 1 Anniversary was pretty good, but it wasn't enough. Halo 2 Anniversary, they did a lot better of a job.
Yeah.
Halo 2, just even the cutscenes, the cutscenes done by Blur Studios, absolutely beautiful. They're breathtaking.
I mean, look at that. You're talking about Halo, yeah.
Yeah, and even because look down below, the one image to the left of it is the image from inside of High Charity, which they remastered.
This one right here?
Yeah, that one. There's so much more to the city now because before it was very plastered. Now there's real depth to the environment where because before if there's an actual, I don't know if there's a older picture version of what High Charity looked like, but it was very like kind of like one level. This gives depth. There's fog. You can see there's more of city blocks. This High Charity is a giant city in a space station. You can really see the details of their buildings a lot more. And when you get to the outskirts of the large column towers that they have, everything is much more detailed, more than what they've ever done before. Even look the Warthog details. Very Halo 4-esque the way they design it, but still very, even the environment around it, much, much better. Much more improved, more detail, higher resolution. That's what a remaster should be like.
Yeah.
Even the energy sword, how much the angles are more sharper, the colors a little bit more vibrant, a little clearer to see. And this is
like something like this.
this is a remaster map, except for the multiplayer.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
You
really
see a
nice.
lot more of the skybox, even though this is based on a floating installation. But compared to before, this is on an island. But even then, you can still see the boundary of the skybox, the actual map.
Now
This
it goes out much
the
farther.
skybox is completely immersive. You don't see a boundary. You just see the map where it eventually ends on this floating island, and in the skybox, and even the Halo ring goes perfectly flowed. It's perfectly flowed underneath the island where you're playing. It's beautifully well done. 343 Industries absolutely knocked it out of the park, and Blair Studios. Actually, if you're able to kind of look at the remastered cutscenes on YouTube, it just even some of them watching them, it is absolutely amazing. Everything is perfect because they do what they done with Avatar, the I forget the terminology for it, but it's I'm gonna forget, but they use dots and cameras in the live
Motion
action.
tracking.
Yeah, motion tracking. That's what it was. They do live action motion tracking with with all the cutscenes now. So that way, because when you're looking at Arbiter, when he goes to look up, you're actually seeing more of his detail. The more the Sinhaley anatomy.
Yeah, because now that's all fully modeled and everything.
Yep. Because before it was just like textured and like random blocks that were T-posing and they made him move a certain way, and they only had to fill in just enough just to complete the cycle of the character moving. Even with Sergeant Johnson looks absolutely amazing, because now when he looks side to side and when he has multiple movements, because now he can move around, shake his arms around and everything, there's a lot more.
Yeah, he has that full facial detail
everywhere. Yep, everywhere has detail, and that is how you do a proper remaster.
Yeah.
And this they did absolutely well, without a doubt.
Now, if you want to talk about though, very briefly though, about remakes, I want to bring up something real quick. Remakes and remasters. There was a game that came out last year, called the Final Fantasy VII remake. Have you ever heard of? Did you ever see anything about that?
Yeah.
That's
the one. I think it was Final Fantasy. Remaster.
Oh no, yeah,
7
7 remastered. This is
a
very ambitious project because it was a PS1 game, like back in 1997, I believe the original game came out, and this is like a remake from the ground up. And from what I remember, the one that came out last year, only like the first third of the story of the actual original game. So like they're fully fleshing out all this new story content and adding on to it. Basically, it's a completely different game from terms of gameplay standing and graphically. It's amazing how far they can just remake this.
And now we have now the technology, they could actually go and add new story that wasn't able to get told before.
Yeah, that's exactly really what they did with this one, because originally in the 1997 game that came out, the first opening section was about 4 to 5 hours long, I believe. Now this game, Final Fantasy VII Remake, the one that came out last year, this game fleshed out that opening 4 to 5 hour long section into a full probably 20 to 30 hour experience in terms of all this new story content and everything.
Wow.
Well, think of it, because when Halo Combat Evolved, it only came out with content that the game was only able to physically run without breaking apart.
Yeah.
And they eventually did that with Halo 2, but even Halo 2 didn't have Halo 2. A lot of the stuff they wanted to do with Halo 2, they wanted to do with Halo 1, so they put it in that one. A lot of the stuff they wanted to do with Halo 2, they put in Halo 3, and same goes that it goes on. Whatever they're able to do. And the original, bare bones original Halo CE was not supposed to be a first-person shooter. It's supposed to be
Yeah, I remember
a
hearing about that.
strategy game, and they had all the original content is still up to find. You can still find all that, all those hidden. They never took it down off the internet,
hmm
so you can still see the original Halo concept before they did Chief's the armor, because the Chief had a complete different armor. He wasn't even
Yeah.
going to be called the Master Chief. He was going to be called completely something different. It's interesting. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and then and you said it was going to be like a strategy game, and that finally actually came to fruition with like Halo Wars and stuff like that.
yeah, it was going to be Halo Wars. It was going to do something like that, but it was just going to be called Halo, an old strategy game. What Halo Wars took off to be,
Mhm.
and Halo Wars is still a good game too.
Yeah,
And if in a strategy game had all the content in it that they were able to put into it. But the problem was as well, the technology limiting factor was it wasn't really going to have that much content in the end of it, because
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff had to get cut because the game just wasn't really going to handle it at the technology at the time. Nowadays, we can really put a lot of that stuff in it straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, GT, if you keep scrolling past, they're probably because you'll see if it's somewhere. You just put Halo Combat Evolved, but even just the original, the Halo CE concept, probably type in, because there's stuff that wasn't even yeah, Halo, because Halo's supposed, yeah, there it is,
Oh yeah, that one right to the third one on the
third
right.
one to the right.
Yeah,
That's what
that was
Halo
his
1
original look.
That's what Halo was supposed to look like. Back in the late 90s. That was what it was supposed to look like. MMORPG. That's what it's supposed to be. And it didn't end up being like that. They ended up having to change it after because Microsoft at the time, because this game was not owned by Microsoft. This
Yeah.
is a game owned by Apple.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's gonna be on like an Apple console, I
This
believe.
is going to be on the Mac, on the MacBook, not the MacBook. On the Mac, the big computer. This is what the game was supposed to be on. This is what Bungie had marketed for. But there was a marketing there was a contract differentiation between them two. So look who stepped in. Microsoft bought Bungie, so Bungie went over and scrapped the idea of the PC strategy game and begun a console/PC first-person shooter. There's all the gameplay of the original PC cut for Mac for Apple is still on the internet. You can still find it. That's Halo Infinite, the concept art that was teased a while ago. That's concept art for the remaster. But hang on, look up Halo PC. Let's see. Halo strategy.
Mac. Yeah, it's like a bunch of YouTube videos talking about how it's going to be on MacBook and stuff like that.
This is all Halo Wars 2 stuff. Hang on. No, so that's all Halo. That's all Halo Wars 2. Where was it? I know it's gonna be somewhere. There's gonna be one popping up in here somewhere. This is all Halo Wars 2 and Halo Wars. That's Halo 3. Just look at Halo 1 RPG Mac. Yeah, the one that's on the bottom, not that. That's the Combat Evolved. That's what it became. The one right there. Oh nope. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
the yeah
I,
this
I
is
found I found a
this is
YouTube video. It was
yeah
Bungie.
this is the PC version of Halo Combat Evolved. Yep, see to the center one. Never forget what we had.
I found a video from from Macworld in 1998 when Bungie actually
Yeah,
presented Halo.
yep. 1998 was when they showed the early concept of actually JT should be able to um
Yeah, search Halo Macworld 1998.
oh yeah Halo Mackerel 1998. Yep, there it is. That is the original. That was Halo before Halo. Everything was so different about it. This is supposed to be a open world RPG shooter, not shooter, RPG MMO, open world strategy game. It is pretty sick to see that. And most of the vehicles and weapons are in Combat Evolved. That's what the game used to look like. That's when Mac owned Bungie.
Yeah.
And 1998, it was going to be 1999. They were going to release it the next year after. So they had a demo that they showed in 1998, and they ran it only a section that worked. The part they showed was only the working version, the only working version part of the game that actually they were able to show that didn't break down. Because I remember watching that is they were showing this and was saying, yeah, this is the only thing we can show because the game otherwise is not ready and it's falling apart because it's so it's very early technology to have a game like this so immersive. This is more than what Call of Duty and
Battlefield.
Medal of Honor and Battlefield were able to pull off because everything was very foggy. This is there's colors, there's environments you can look at. You can see these things instead of being submersed in fog most of the time. Because a lot of that air, they were very close with it. This, I mean, look, go to the close up with the Banshee.
Bottom right corner.
Right above you, or yeah, right there, that Banshee, the pre-cursed Banshee. Oh, it might actually show you the video right now. Actually, yep, Steve Jobs. Mac unveiling the game.
Oh, this was like before I was born, or maybe a year after.
Yeah. Go right to
Skip
it.
ahead.
Yeah, skip ahead and then turn the thing is muted. This is when, see, and this is what it looked like. This is what they showed. The only version they were able to show that worked.
Oh, it's still the same soundtrack.
Yeah, because Bungie was still doing it at the time. There was no soundtrack really. The soundtrack was still there, but wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously added. This soundtrack wasn't in the game.
Okay.
You can just turn it down a little bit. It was a little bit different, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looks like it was meant to be like more like a third person.
You can drive around was very different between Call of Duty. This is the biggest change, even for 1998. This was huge. Nobody had ever thought about this before. That's what made it completely different. And changed the way we have video games. Even it never did this. Look what Halo Combat Evolved it became and what it did for the entire gaming community. It
Yeah.
changed the way games are played and how they were made.
And then what Microsoft bought out Bungie, and then they became the first-person shooter we know today.
Yep. The project ended up getting the original project got scrapped because the game was not able to run. The game was just so large. The game was just not able to run. Microsoft wanted, because nobody really had a PC. Nobody had enough PC at the time, so they wanted to make a game that was for the new generation console that was coming at the time, the Xbox. They wanted obviously something to go for the time that everybody could afford to have and play and enjoy. This was not going to be able to work unless you had a really good PC and a really strong PC, if that.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately wasn't really available at the time. If Halo came out exactly like this would have never come out in 1999.
Yeah. And then
it would have never come out.
Then Microsoft
It would
bought
come
it and
out
made
in
it a console.
2005. If that. This game would have never come out. Not until 2005 or 2007 when Assemble Studios made theirs.
Mhm.
So the fact that they were still able to make a killer game out of it, even though they didn't do it, they still made a strategy game. They wanted to so far, if they wanted to do what Halo Wars 1 and 2 did, and go back to do exactly that,
Yeah.
a standalone only game that was just like the concept, for the sake of it, they could do it. They could now revive that old, all of that old lost footage that is forgotten.
Yeah.
They could do it. They really wanted to.
So before we go on to anything else, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Because we've been going for 2 hours. That's why I ask.
Yeah. Oh man, I was
I
saying,
have,
we've been at this for quite a while.
Yeah, I just
I
have
don't know how long you want to keep going on this.
I just have one quick piece of news to share.
Well, yeah, why don't we do Andrew's news and then we'll call it a night? Because I mean, we covered a lot.
Yeah,
I have to say, we covered a lot. So
yeah, it has to do with Bungie. This past week, last week, Bungie announced that they're going to be revealing their next major expansion for the Destiny franchise on August 24th. It's called the Witch Queen. We first revealed the title of it last year, and now we're going to begin our first actual game look of it on August 24th next month.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
We're currently in the middle of a season in Destiny right now. Season of the Splicer that started about a month or two ago, and I'm assuming once the season ends, they're going to do something what they did similar to last year. They're going to reveal like a gameplay look at Witch Queen, and then they're going to show the next season, and then after that, it's Witch Queen's planned to be released in I believe early 2022.
Yeah,
So
I'm
looking
very
forward to
behind
that.
with Destiny 2 because I don't have a raid team anymore to play. Especially now that I'm, at the time I was working quite a lot, so I didn't have that amount of time. I got halfway through Forsaken, and then that was pretty much it. So I had nobody to do any of the DLC or any of the raids on even the normal game. I had nobody to do with.
Yeah, so interesting because what Forsaken added in, and they've had a couple of these come out. They had these things called dungeons added in. It's like a mini raid, except you don't need 6 people to play with. You only need like 2 other people. It's teams of 3, and there's 3 dungeons in total. One of them came out with Forsaken. Another one came out with Shadowkeep, the expansion that came out after Forsaken. And then another one that came out last year. It was completely free for all players, called the Prophecy Dungeon. And that one is like if you want to get a feel for what dungeons are like, yeah, that one's like a good start for like all players.
Uh,
I've yet to do a raid in Destiny myself. I'm planning to finally do one like next week or something like that, but I've yet to do one. I really want to try one, but it's like the matter of just getting people together that I know that play the game.
yeah, I've done all the raids. I've done everything for Destiny 1, but that's a couple years ago when all that stuff was when Destiny was really in its prime.
Yeah.
And everything was just because I had my whole raid team. My raid team was a mix of 8 people.
Mhm.
We had 2 guys that rotated on and off with the other 2 guys. So
Yeah.
if we didn't have full 6, we still had at least other people to help. So
Mhm.
which is pretty nice. I didn't really do it with randoms, but we still managed to get through all of them. We have gotten Crota, I think all the main raids,
Yeah.
except the Vault of Glass on Nightmare.
Fun fact about the Ball of Glass is that Bungie brought it back this season for Destiny 2, so now it's in the Destiny 2 sandbox.
I did hear about that, yeah.
Yeah, so and that's free for all players. So if you have the game still, you can just boot it up and do it if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I
that's
I need to get back on and start doing it.
Yeah, these past 2 seasons have been really good. This season of the Splicer, for example, is all about us building a alliance with human aligned Elixir or Fallen. So that's been a very interesting storyline. But that's mainly my bit of news to share. I just want to talk about that.
Cool.
Yes.
Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? You guys have any last minute things to say before we sign off?
No, I think we're pretty much good.
I'm all good.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank the 2 fine gentlemen joining me tonight, or mainly doing all the talking because I don't really know anything about video games, to be honest with you. That's why I have these guys on. I want to thank you guys for watching this stream, and hopefully you liked it, and hopefully you found out some cool information about Halo or anything else we talked about tonight, Call of Duty. Please sound off in the comment section below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. So, and if you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Spotify as podcasts. We do this show as a podcast as well, so you can listen to us in the car or wherever you are and wherever you go. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We hope you guys enjoyed the night, and